What's up, guys? Chris here from Mainly Mesh. I'm going to actually answer your questions today. Sorry to jump the gun a little, but the comments were racking up. And also, it's a little camp tradition of mine to call it Freaky Friday and answer questions on a Friday. So, getting right into it, we have Ned Colva, burritos or tacos? Backstory on this: Ned Colva goes to Camp Nona, and his nickname is Burrito. So I commented, "You're a cannibal." Maxwell Henry, do you think do you think an 11-year-old attackman, should start using X-Spec heads? Do you think the rules will move towards college heads only? On a scale of 1 to 10, how good of a stringer are you? Okay, let's start small. Should I start using X-Spec heads? I think you get a better channel with X-Spec heads. That's what I use. I use an Oz. I use an optic. Blah blah blah. I would do that. Do I think the rules will move towards college heads only? Sorry, not sure what you're referencing there. I do think the 4-inch rule should be adopted at the high school level, but it's going to next year anyway, so it's all going to be okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, how good of a stringer are you? I appreciate Sean Banco commenting, he's like an 11 on that scale. But since you didn't say which side would be, like whether a 1 would be bad and a 10 would be good, I'm going to just split the difference and say 5. STX 51423 said, morning routine. I wake up, I have a fruit smoothie, I eat some eggs with some spinach that I cook for myself, and then I play lacrosse all day. If there was one, it 22s. If there was one rule of at any level of play that you could remove, what would it be? One rule you could remove. I think some of the high school rules about keeping it in the box are annoying, and they should move to the college rules. When they made that, I thought it cleared the game way up. String Cannon, would you rather have a hometown WNBA team or $10? Okay, I'm going to try to protect myself by saying Portland, Maine already has a wonderful minor league basketball team in the Portland Red Claws, so we have plenty of basketball action during the winter. I would take $10. Do you think the really expensive shafts help your game enough to consider buying them? Oh, you're putting me in a tough spot, dude. I will let you decide that. Shamrock Lax. Oh, that was from I Know Lacrosse. Big boy. Shamrock Lax. Looking for a good semi-hard wax mesh. Thoughts and preferences. Check out some of my reviews, once again. Capital Lacrosse. What's the best way to get your wax mesh business out there and get orders? Spend $1 million in order to set up the necessary capital to make your own looms, become the 3rd manufacturer of mesh in the U.S. Get the price point down by perfecting your wax. Look at composite coatings. Probably invest another $200,000 on advertising. At that point, I mean, you could also make a call to try to sponsor an MLL player. Maybe get tied up with the major league in general. Buy out the competition. Yeah. The Irish Ninja. The old Irish Ninja. I don't know if that's Irish or not. With the mantra of simply playing simply, how much of expensive gear goes into making improvements in your game? Will the carbon shaft really be worth the money in similar advanced gear like that? Come on, guys. To each his own. You gotta figure out. My only opinion is you got to figure out how much you want your shaft to weigh, how much you want it to flex, how strong you want it to be, and then what your relative price point is within that, and then Heck, if you want a 5-ounce shaft with a 9 flex and that's going to be super durable, then your only option is to get an Epic Dragonfly. Bam. If you are looking at a 7.5-ounce shaft, price range is $40 with a 3 to 5 flex, then you're going to want to get a Ripwood or a wood shaft. It just depends on who you are. It's all about the feel. Nick S., do you know any really soft wax meshes that would be good for face-offs? Yes. Waxman44, what do you think the #1 way to improve your lacrosse game is? Do you have any siblings? Answer to question number 1, wall ball. But controlled wall ball, not just hucking it against a wall. Serious wall ball and working on your offhand. You can never have too good of an offhand. Do I have any siblings? I have a younger sister. She's beautiful and a kind person. Don't say anything about her. Straight Cash 33, Optic U review. You eventually. Oh, TB Spins, weapon of choice. Oh, it's not in here. I'm gonna make a video on it. I promise. Okay. Cole Musser in one of Musser. I wish he had the umlaut. Musser. In one of ECD's videos, Greg said to have a high pocket, you must sacrifice channel. Is this true? 90% of the time, yes. I think, like if you're talking a high pocket that sits within that 4 inches from the top, it's very, very, very difficult to get the channel that you would have with a mid. There are ways you can try to trick it, but most of the time I find my channeled high pockets sitting at what you guys would probably call a mid-high. Aiden Roberts, what is your favorite colorway for lacrosse sticks? Gray, white, and Carolina baby blue, baby. Sean Banco, what do you do for a living if you're out of college? I do life, for I live life. Do your parents and people in general know you are a famous stringer, often referred to as the best in the world? That's the sweetest thing ever. No. That's not admitting that I am, but no, it's. I mean, to them it still just seems like a hobby, so it's kind of fun that way. With the release of your Hawk video, which did you find more effective? Special knots that do the folding in thing, or knots to pull the mesh inside? That for that head in particular, I found that the SIs worked better. That actually depends more on the knot you throw after the stacked SI. I'd have to go into that in more detail. For that head, I am very happy with the pattern that I finished out with. It's complicated in terms of sometimes it's complicated in the fact that it's somewhat random. You know, like I talked about that cheating a channel video for D heads, and the Epic Hawk just has a different face shape. So that's what ended up working for that. Good question. Lax Bro Oliver, can you dye wax mesh that is already waxed? For the most part, no. The point of waxing a mesh is to waterproof it to an extent. Most of the time you're having water-based dyes. Pure Grit Lacrosse does non-water-based dyes that I don't understand, and so he can dye String King and stuff. I don't get that. So to the extent of my knowledge with water-based dyes, no. Is it possible? I suppose yes. How many tries does it usually take you to get the pocket you want? That's a good question. For a head that I've never strung before, I usually go through 2 or 3 tries. The way I do it is I string right about to where my stack would be on one side, string that same point on the other, but at that point can tell what it's looking like. Usually readjust it once, go all the way down, try it out, and maybe halfway up and back down. Yeah. What jersey number do I wear? In high school, I was 33. In college, I was number 32 because 33 was taken. Yeah. Have you tried rubber-coated mesh? If I have, what do I think about it? Promo lacrosse's mesh is technically a rubber-based. I haven't tried Gonzo. I need to try Gonzo. I'm being stubborn and don't want to buy any. I haven't even asked him for any, so I have nothing to whine about. But I need to try some more of that stuff. Sensei mesh is another rubberized type. I've tried both of those. I think it's really cool. There's a lot of variants that has yet to be really pushed with that. You know, Sensei is practically a soft mesh. Promo is like a semi-hard mesh. It's going to be interesting seeing those grow. Can I do a weapon of choice video? Yes. Gavin McSkane. Wow, you guys have some great names. Not this one, though. Sorry. Nelson H. No offense, Nelson. Best head mesh combo for high school. Whatever one you like most. Do I believe in life after love? Rishi A. That's heartbreaking, dude. Like, is that like saying you had a love and she left, or she passed away, or he? And then, or is it? Oh wait, it's that song, isn't it? Do you believe in love after love? I got you. You got me. Do you believe in love? Am I Sam Welsh? Are you still in college? Studying what? Nope. Studied astrophysics. Brady Williams, lightweight versus strong lacrosse shafts for defense. I have yet to explore the defensive side of things. I think my hunch is lighter is better, and I think the strength is catching up, but I have not done any strength tests on deep pulls. Mason Vasta. If you could use Otter Mesh or String King in your NOS, what would you choose? I use String King 1X, but I've also used Otter and 1S, and they each have their own properties that are pretty awesome. It was when I had Otter Mesh in it with 5 straight shooters, it threw awesome, and it was a really funky stick. I also did 1S with 3 straights, and it was really cool. But I stick with 1X, 1 nylon, 1 straight. River Mac, favorite rapper on 3. 1, 2, 3, Watsky. Yeah, I'm a nerd. He's literally my idol. If you guys want to know why I'm so weird, just look up George Watsky. Look up, he won the National Slam Poetry Contest in 2010, graduated from Emerson, decided all he wanted to do in life was rap, and just did it. He's a total white loser, not a loser, he's the man, but he's got a lisp. He just does his own music, and he's the man, and he's my idol, and I want to be a white kid with a lisp and string sticks and make music. So there, bam. Yo, Kendrick. No offense to Kendrick, great rapper. Quinn McGinnis, favorite penny to wear. I have a dearth of pennies. SAT word. I have a serious scarcity of pennies, and I would appreciate some pennies. Because right now I don't have one that I like to wear. I have this like lime green one from the Maine high school all-star game, senior all-star game, which is sweet, but like it's one-sided, and I always feel awkward wearing it on the Maine. Oh yeah, it was the Maine senior high school all-star. Sick, dude. So, I'd love some pennies. Favorite school subject, astrophysics. I like stars and how they work. Todd Blake. What's up, Todd? Hey, Chris, I would like to see an entire video on bottom strings and the theory behind them. Nobody has covered bottom strings in a comprehensive manner so far. I'm on it. Traditional advantages over mesh. Whew. Feel. All feel. It's feel. Feel. You feel me? Ridge Dumoulin. Or Ridgy Dumolino. What is your gamer? Nas. 14 lacrosse dude 11. If you could practice with any player, who would it be? I would really love to, as would anybody, hang out with John Grant Jr. and just really pick apart the way he reads a defender when he's posting up at 5-5, because I'm not the shiftiest guy, but I pride myself in being pretty calm with the ball when I get to that spot, but really knowing how to. I threw in one of his behind the back fakes in a pickup the other day, and just he's the man. Okay, I just wanna hang out with him. What actually, Julian Lanyon? What actually happens to raw mesh when it gets wet? Talking physically speaking, so raw mesh is nylon for the most part. Nylon is naturally hydrophilic, meaning it absorbs water. And so the nylon strands themselves actually absorb a bit of water and stretch. Also, what happens is there are holes in the mesh, if you're talking about a raw mesh, that also absorb water, so they make your pocket a little heavier, a little saggier. Since there's water in the fibers of your mesh, the ball will roll off it differently. So it stretches out, it bags, and all of a sudden there's a whole. When I talk about the Goldilocks channel and having, trying to control your levels of kinetic and static friction, all of a sudden you have this whole other element in there, literally an element. Oh, it's not an element. Nice job, Chris. H2O, that's a molecule, I think. I don't do chemistry, okay? I failed. I took bio, I took chemistry in high school. I failed both. I like physics. Yeah, it sags out. It gets icky. Box pocket versus field pocket, and why do cows moo? As for the box pocket versus field pocket, I mean, to me, it's tough to even make a distinction between the two. I mean, well, that's not true. I'm a field player, so I like a field pocket. How about that? So according to Yahoo Answers, the reason cows moo is not loading. Sweet. Oh, says they only beller when they get distressed. I feel like that's some old farm. Yeah. Well, they only beller. Like he's got some weird pronunciation of bellow. They only beller when they get angry, my son. Don't make them better. What do we got? Hoosier Strings, thoughts on the Wolf Athletics Ghost Shaft? I'm still in the testing mode. I will let you know that we did the Jewel lacrosse shaft test where I held out the Wolf Athletics shaft straight and hit it as hard as we could with a Punisher and barely even dented. So that kind of blew my mind. Full review coming later. What's my favorite color? Baby blue. What workouts do you recommend for a midi? Any ones? For a midi, run. What we did in college was a lot of 300-yard shuttles with 50-yard intervals. So midline back, midline back, midline back. Keeping your legs strong, keeping your core strong, especially your core, working on your rotational speeds. So whether you're taking a medicine ball and swinging it around, just, simulate what you're doing in the game. But definitely work on that endurance so you can be the guy who, on those crazy midi possessions, when it goes up, down, up, down, up, down, you're going to be the first guy there. Favorite head and shaft of all time? Oh, I feel like last time I had to make up a bunch for these. Gate Oracle on the STX Python. Sam Haggard, if you didn't play lacrosse, what sport would you be playing? That's a good question. I'd probably play basketball. I like basketball a lot. Is it a good idea to try to apply the Goldilocks theory pocket to a head with 20mm mesh? Well, it's funny you ask that because I just tried that. It's going to act differently. You're going to have a little more catch. You got to treat every mesh slightly differently, but it's always a good idea. Not always a good idea. You get the point. Riley McFatter, PH, fat, cool as butter. Is that a phrasing? Phrase? If you could use one mesh other than string king, what would it be and why? I've used a bunch of other meshes other than string king. Heck, I keep a piece of Mr. Pink mesh around. I keep a piece of Otter around. I keep a piece of 1S around. I keep a piece of Mark mesh around. Actually, have to reorder that. I had this gate torque with 20mm Mark mesh, and it was the softest thing ever. It was awesome. Keep a piece of ECM around. Keep a piece of Throne around. I like having them around. Depends on the day. David Buscemi. The Shamster. Mr. Sheem. Have you ever been to Connecticut? Yep. Lacrosse brands that you think are on the up and up and brands that are on the down and down. Well, the brand I think is up and up and up is the up brand, and the down brand is on the down and down. Everything's growing right now. Literally everything is growing. You could have a terrible company and it could be growing right now. This guy. How do you find your preferences in pockets? I string a lot of them. What schools do you play lax for? Freshman year, high school. I'll do a little about me video. For freshman year, high school, I played for Cape Elizabeth up in Maine. Transferred to Waynfleet for the next 3 years. Went to Harvard for college for 2. Now I'm done with that. I still have 3 years of eligibility left. So let's see how that goes. Although I probably can't play that legally with NCAA violations. Daniel Neal. Do you think it's the wand or the wizard? The string job or the person using the stick? Definitely the wizard, unless your string job stinks. First stick, I had a Gate Icon on their Alloy 6000 shaft. I actually found one at camp and kept it, and I need to get to stringing that for old time's sake. What's the best wall ball routine? And is it the wizard or the wand? Wizard. Wall ball routine. But like I said, like if you have a stick that throws into the ground, you need a new stick. I started doing in college. I think the 2 most important ones that I didn't do, besides everybody sees the forehead, normal throwing, Canadian, quick stick, behind the back even. One-handed offhand was one of the biggest ones for me in terms of increasing that wrist strength, and was one that I really struggled with beforehand. And then also the steel Stanwick, I believe, throwing it off the base of the wall and having it bounce once before you catch it, because it messes up the spin, so you kind of have to snap at it, which is different. But it's a great wrist workout and really helps you control your catching when you're hucking a ball at you with weird spin. So those were kind of the 2 that I tacked on. But make sure another thing is do at least 200 throws with each hand. And if anything, do more with your left hand. So, because if you're doing the same amount, if your right is here and your left is here, and you're practicing the same amount with both, you're probably both going to go up to an extent. So if you do 150 right and 250 left, hopefully you can level that out a little. Isaiah Medina, do you ever feel like a tool when you're walking around in a public area holding a lacrosse stick? I do, and I don't know why. I actually feel so awkward walking around with a lacrosse stick in public that I don't do it anymore. I do occasionally. I got little slits in my backpack, so I can just sling them in there, and I feel less stupid, but tough life I live. Down South Lax. How do I say caramel? I'm not in that caramel train. It's caramel. That's how it's spelled. Capital Lacrosse. What's dorm living like? I'm really looking forward to it. Dude, it could be so different at so many places. You could have a quad. I had a single. I was living in heaven. Who knows? Can you show us your fear bag? Sorry. I'll show you my gear bag eventually. Brady Williams, how's it going? Awesome, my man. 14 lacrosse. Dude, you already... 14 lacrosse, dude, 11. Do you prefer to watch college or professional lacrosse, and why college? Because there's more of it. Do you realize you were the king of streaming theories? Okay, that makes up for your fear bag comment, Gavin McSkeeny Weenie. Thank you. Actually. Maxwell Henry, do you think I guess that's it. 25-minute video, 26-minute video. Thanks a lot, guys. A lot of kind words in there, too, which I appreciate. Hopefully you guys enjoy this. And don't make fun of the fact that I woke up with hipster bedhead this morning. Whoa. Yeah, got some cool stuff coming out to you guys today. Have a great afternoon. Weekend.